Aloha, I'm Susan Gallery, and I'm painting today from my art studio in Hilo, Hawaii. I'm going to show you today how to make a seascape in about 10 minutes. So first of all, I'm recycling a canvas. This is a chameleon that was left behind by a student, young student. And I'm going to put a little tape here for the horizon, not so much in the center, a little bit below, a little bit above. Depends on whether you're going, high, you're going more worm's eye, low, more bird's eye view. So I'm starting with a really simple palette, just primary colors, not even yellow, I don't think I'll use any of that, and some white and black, okay? So mixing up a little bit of blue, which is kind of bright, so I'm going to tone it down. Cerulean is a good color to use. It's the color of the sky anywhere in the world on a nice day. So put a little cerulean over here. I started the sky dark to light. Dark because if you look up the atmosphere, it's very, very dark, very blue. You get away from all the haze. So that's going to be pretty dark up here. And work in all this color with some water and just kind of keep your strokes going across, just like the wind's blowing, maybe at an angle if you like. Smooth all this out. Work on the clouds later. I wrap it around the edges because I like to just be able to put my painting on the wall with a push pin. Okay, I'm going to come down a little farther, pick up some cerulean, a little bit more white. Get rid of some of this color in here. Wrap it around if you like. Now we're getting toward the horizon line where you're going to find the most atmosphere, and that makes for beautiful sunsets. And we're so lucky right now because Big Island is pretty much ash-free now. We've had a lot of fog the last few years because of all the volcanic activity, and now Kona's experiencing blue skies. Pretty much always blue skies over here in Hilo. Rains a lot, but hey, it keeps everything green. Okay, change up your blues a little bit. I'm using ultramarine, a little cerulean, a little dark, a little light, and sometimes a little black and gray. Okay, we worked our way down to the bottom here. If it's still wet, acrylic dries very quickly, you can play with some clouds, put some clouds in here. And a finger, but keep those strokes going across like the wind, okay? And I'm kind of a finger painter. I don't know if this is such a good idea to teach you, but I like the medium. And sometimes I get better results. Okay, there's a jet stream with some clouds going across, okay? Clouds are a little heavy with water. They'll be a little gray on the bottom, so I'm going to just add a slight amount of gray into the bottom edge here. You can do this with a brush. Okay, good enough for now. Okay, so let that dry. And come down here, pull the tape off, and save it. And I'm going to work on the beach. So quick and easy. There's the beach. Okay. Well, you got white sand beaches, green sand beaches, pink sand beaches. All comes from the coral here on the islands. And the black sand beaches. That's my favorite. Okay, so pick up a little bit of white. And I'm just going to gray it up a little bit. Maybe add a touch of cadmium red. We'll go for pinks, pink coral sand beach. I have a real beautiful one on Maui. I forgot what it's called. I think it's called McKenna. Okay, pink sand, right in this area. And some white. Oops, got some blue shadows in there. That's okay, I like that. You always use about twice as much white as you would the other colors, maybe 3 times that much. Just get some of that blue out of my brush. And I'm going to bring some of that sand into the water line here, because you will see rocks and shadows, even maybe just a few little gray shadows, because like before I go out swimming, I check and I can see the shadows in the water where the rocks are and try to avoid them, because that coral can really be hard on your feet. Okay. And finish up this beach. Keep it loose. You don't have to blend all your colors. Sometimes being spontaneous is painting more from your heart and turns out better. Sometimes I'll take a little bit of the medium, the gloss medium at the end, mix a little sand, little black and white sand into it, and scumble it across with a palette knife, and you take home a little bit of beach with you. Okay, got the sandy beach in. Now, take my tape again. This time, turn it around this way. I'm gonna put it, it's probably dry. It is dry. I'm gonna put that just slightly over the horizon. Push it down so you don't get any tidal waves out there. No tidal waves. Not gonna happen. Okay. So, same thing with the ocean. You're gonna go dark to light, because on Big Island, it gets deep fast. And the deep is the dark. So, gonna go a little dark when I start this edge. This time I'm gonna add phthalo blue. It's a nice blue that's a little, whoops, my tape isn't sticking. A little on the green side, very iridescent. Oh, this painter's tape doesn't work too good. It will though. Okay, I'm gonna make it work. Maybe use regular masking tape. Okay, there's the water line. Okay. Take the tape off. Okay, now we're gonna gradually, with phthalo blue and a little dark, and maybe a little light, a little dark, a little light, okay. And I'm gonna bring that down. I'm gonna keep it dark. As I'm coming down, there we go. You can leave a little white here and there and a little dark. That could be a beginning of a wave. So I'm gonna stick with the phthalo blue, because as I'm coming closer, it's gonna get brighter and more iridescent. So little highlights like that, sometimes you get white water, you can leave that. I like to kind of stripe it like a beach towel, and as I go along, let's add a little bit more water. Again, keep your strokes going across. Get on our beach over here. Come on back here. There we go. Okay. Now, the magic I feel about Hawaii is the water. The magic's in the water. And the light, because we're so close to the equator, makes for a lot brighter colors. If I take the phthalo blue and the phthalo green, I get a really iridescent coral reef color that I like a lot. It's just like you just want to jump into this pool because it's so beautiful. So I'm mixing phthalo blue, phthalo green together. And I'm going to brighten it up around here. Maybe back in here a little bit too. And as I come forward, I can just add a little bit of white. There we go. Lots of white. A little bit more detailed, more choppy here, because we're going to make some waves. And then take water and kind of blend that in. There we go. Okay, wave. Top part of the wave is white. The barrel or the inside is dark, and it goes back to the flat color again. So all this, assuming this is all flat, and take a little smaller brush, and the wave farther away is going to be smaller, so that looks like a good place to put one. I'm going to make it kind of white on the top. There we go. Sometimes I kind of roll the brush a little bit. And I see another one out there too. Okay, just a little, just kind of roll your brush. Makes better highlights on the edges. Take a little bit, see maybe the same brush, the white going. I'm gonna roll my wave right here, okay? There we go. I bring it all the way out to here. There we go. It's kind of building up right here. There we go. It's gonna crash. Such a nice sound. In the front, we'll do some detail. Now, what I've got to do is come back because that wave is coming up. This is flat, wave's rolling up. Underneath, we've got to make it a little darker. Sometimes I'll use a glaze for this, or just any, dark blue color, dark phthalo color in this case. Okay, I think that's about right. So tuck that color right underneath the crashing edge of that wave. And then blend out the bottom. So you create kind of a natural shadow. Good. Okay, up here, we're going to do some filigree. The wave crashes on the beach and leaves behind a lot of oily sediment and white foam. Isn't this the lovely thing about painting? Like, I feel like I'm there. And, because it really brings back a clear picture. Also, I love painting on location because those are my best memories. Okay, filigree. Bring this liner. With a liner, you gotta thin your paint way down. It's got enough paint on there to get to Helon back, or Conan back in this case. I'm used to saying Helon back. But I live here now in Hilo. It's bugs on the beach. No bugs. Okay, so here's all your kind of foamy white water. That sort of separates the sand from the water there. Good, okay. And then finally, some shadows. Let's try some shadows. I'd have to go with shadows. I'd probably go the shadow somewhere between the sand and the watercolor. So go back to here with a little bit of blue. I think this will work. Okay. Kind of a gray-green. And detail out that sea foam. I like that color. It's kind of cool. Put some right there. That's me standing over here, and that's my shadow. So, pretty much done, unless you want to put some lava on the beach, which is super typical where we live. So, if you're going to make a lava rock, come in here and make kind of a half circle, and then flatten it out. And maybe I'll put one over here. I'm always tripping over those things, and sometimes they turn out to be turtles. Sorry, turtles, but I've done that before. I'm using my big brush again, but it's okay. Go back to the small one. Rocks get smaller. Okay. So that's how you get started, you know, with a little, we can go farther and put in palm trees, but that's your lesson for today. All right? Okay. Thanks for joining me.